In this lesson, we're going to review the VBA interface and introduce some basic concepts of the VBA programming in a VBA editor. These basic concepts include the VBA modules, functions, procedures, and sub-procedures. We will also learn how to write basic code in the VBA editor. Let's go through the typical use case. The typical use case of these basic concepts is that they're the building blocks of the VBA code. We need a place to write a code and execute it, and writing codes that will follow specific patterns or procedures. Therefore, we will explain the modules, procedures, functions, and sub-procedures so that you can differentiate between them and you're able to write simple VBA codes by understanding about these terminologies. So far, we've learned about the automation of Excel through various methods, such as pasting VBA code or record macro technique. We avoided writing codes directly in VBA. Our focus was to create the VBA codes with the help of the record macro technique and then use the VBA editor to amend these codes as per our requirements. This activity was for the purpose of giving you a hands-on experience relating to the Excel automation tasks. Now that you know how Excel tasks automation works, we can take you to the VBA interface where you can write your own macro codes to run your Excel programs. Another reason is that we want to empower you to write Excel automation codes without doing all the programming work or write the code from scratch. There are many customized codes already available online, and you can simply use those codes in your worksheet with slight customization as per your own requirements. So let's start with a simple example. We will write a VBA code by doing the following. The first step is to go to the Visual Basic from the Developer tab or press the Alt key together with F11 key. Next, the second step is to go to the Insert tab and click Module. This will open the VBA module. Next, the third step is to type the following code inside the module. Next, for the last step, press the F5 key or press the play button on the ribbon. You'll see the following welcome message. You'll be surprised to see your username even though you didn't type it yourself. You just wrote a VBA sub-procedure known as a macro. Whenever you write a macro, Excel evaluates each statement and follows each instruction. In our example, we instructed Excel to open a message box that has a welcome message and refer to the application username. In this way, everyone who executes this code will get a customized welcome message based on their username. In some cases, you can get the following error when trying to execute a VBA code. The error is compile error, variable not defined. This is because you probably have the declare variable setting on. There will be an option explicit written on top of your module. You can simply delete it directly and then click Run, or you can go to the Tools tab and then select Option and uncheck the box Require Variable Declaration. This will remove the option explicit statement at the start of the VBA module. This setting is to let you declare your variables. We will discuss this further when we learn about declaring variables later in our course. You can also insert VBA module by navigating to your Project Explorer tab on the left of the VBA editor and look for your relevant workbook in which you want to paste the code. Here you will see tabs with the top one showing VBA project with your workbook name. Beneath it will be the folder named Microsoft Excel Objects. Click on it and it'll review the Microsoft Excel object for the workbook. In our case, it'll be all of the sheets of the workbook and another object titled This Workbook. Right-click anywhere on these and then go to the Insert and select Module. You now know how to run any code in VBA and can also paste a custom-made code from the internet. Throughout our course, we will also share custom-made codes that can save you time by eliminating the need to manually carry out each of these tasks, and they can easily be automated with VBA macros. We'll now discuss some of the terminologies we mentioned earlier. First, let's discuss modules. By now, you'll know how to open a VBA module and write VBA codes. Module is the VBA canvas where you'll be doing all of your coding. It opens as a new window and you can paste all of your code here. When you record a macro, Excel automatically inserts a VBA code and a VBA module to hold the recorded code. You can customize the module by going to the Tools tab and then select Options. A window will open, select the tab editor format, and you'll find many customization options such as font style and size. It's ideal that you select a font that has even spacing so that you can find it even if there are any issues with your code by looking at the space differences. When you type a code, there are times when your code exceeds the view area. You can add the code in the different lines by adding a space and an underscore. You should also make it a habit to use indenting to add spaces to your code to detect hierarchy structures. You can also add spaces before the code by pressing the Tab key. To remove spaces, press Shift and Tab key. It is also good to add indentation when you are continuing the VBA code line on a new line using space and underscore. Indenting will help you to identify that it's the continuation of the above code line. Next, we will discuss procedures. The instructions that you paste in the VBA module space are called procedures. These procedures can be simple with only a few lines of complex code that encompasses many functions and sub-procedures. When you run the code, these sets of procedures are detected by Excel, and the actions are performed according to the instructions in the procedures. There are multiple types of procedures, but the most common are function procedures and sub-procedures. Next, we'll discuss the function procedures. Functions are procedures that perform calculations and return a value. This is like using SUMIF formula in Excel. You either derive a single value or the result is in the form of an array. You put a function procedure in the module by starting with the text function and end with end function. After inserting function, we can also locate it in Excel when we write the formula using the equal sign. Our next lesson, difference between sub-procedures and functions, will give you an in-depth analysis of the difference between these two terminologies used that fall under the procedures umbrella. Lastly, we'll discuss sub-procedures. Sub-procedures are the most common form of procedures used in the VBA module. In all of our previous lessons, we've used sub-procedures to record automated instructions to Excel. When we use record macro technique, it also stores the VBA code as sub-procedures in the module. A sub-procedure is a set of instructions for Excel to follow. The sub-procedure starts with the sub, followed by the sub name, and ends with end sub. Between these two terms are instructions for Excel to follow. These instructions can be about copying cells, changing font size, etc. Now that you have basic knowledge of these important VBA concepts, we can proceed further in our upcoming lessons to elaborate on these differences and explain them and their use cases in detail. Hey guys, thanks for watching this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe from you. And if you want to learn more about Microsoft Excel, check out these videos above. And don't forget to check out our website, commercecurve.com, where we have lots of in-depth finance and accounting courses available with full training workbooks. All of our courses come with complete workbooks of lessons, examples, pre-built financial models, and training video. Hope to see you there.